I think we are. Okay, cool. Sounds good. All right, everybody. Hey, let's get this kicked off the ground. What's going on? Give us a big wave, throw a five in the chat if you're here with us. Welcome to our very first official Thriving Thursday. And we're going to be doing speaker training today. And I know when I say those words, speaker training or presenting, there's going to be a couple of emotions that come up. Some of you, when you hear speaking and presenting, you're like, let's go. Like, I'm so excited. I'm pumped. Let's do that. Put a one in the comments if you're like that. If you're like, let's go crush this. I'm so ready and everything. Okay, we got a couple crazy people, which is good. Great job, guys. Um, but if you're anything like me, if I'm to be very honest, when I heard speaking and presenting, it scared the living daylights out of me. I'm like, speaking? I never want to speak. I never want to present. Put a two in the comments if that's you. Um, because you're my people. And what I realized was this is that speaking is something that you don't have to do well in this business, but it can pay you 10 times more if you learn it. And I'm like, if I can find a way to 10x my speed and my business, then I want to learn that if it pays well enough. And I'd submit that presenting is one of the key skills, especially in this next generation, that is going to be the most important skills to learn, whether you're presenting a partner co-product or the business, we'll talk about those, or you're just presenting in life, social media, maybe in front of your family, maybe you're in front of your church. But speaking is something that is a personal passion of mine, and I know that anybody can become a speaker. When I first got introduced, I remember I got launched in this business. I know we have new people on this call, so welcome to the family. If you're new, by the way, put a one in the comments. We're super excited for you. We have a launch system that you want to go through. So your leaders will help equip you with these, but this is our main site. Save this down, wellness360.community/links. We have a whole 7-day launch. You're going to go through posting and attracting and selling, and we're going to get you up to ultimate, to top pay. That's one of the first targets. If you're already ultimate, by the way, put a U in the comments below. Like that's awesome. Every single six-figure earner is at ultimate. And then from there, so congratulations, everyone that's ultimate. We have people working through that right now. Rebecca is on this line live. She just launched her business, so she's going through that right now. From there, we then also have something called Millionaire Mentorship, which we're super excited about. Many of you are part of this, but I'd recommend everyone be a part of this. February 11th, we're going to be formally launching this. And this we're going to teach how to go outside just your first warm market, how to go outside just your friends and your family, and how to continue to scale and to grow a business. To get involved in this, you go ultimate and then you enroll two partners at 200 points each. Anyone here can do it. Okay. I bring this up because there's a launch phase in the business. And I remember my first perception was the reason I got started in here. I was a shy, nerdy Asian kid. I was so shy I couldn't order food at a restaurant. Like literally to think about speaking to a stranger was scary to me. I wouldn't pick up unknown callers. Like when you get caller ID, it says no caller ID. I'm like, that's a stranger. That's scary. And when the only reason I got started in network marketing was my friends told me if you can just invite and connect people to a tool or connect people to a presenter, you never have to talk, James. And I'm like, sold, I can do that. But then I realized, and my mentor said this. He said, he or she that holds the pen makes all the money. He or she that holds the pen makes all the money. And they basically said if you learn how to present, if you learn how to communicate, if you learn how to train, you're going to be able to add a lot of value and money follows value. And I said, huh, maybe I'd love to have that. And if I'm to be very honest with you, even though I was super introverted and scared as heck with speaking, I always wanted to become confident. I always wanted to become a better communicator. Who here would agree that if you learn to become a more effective communicator, it's going to help you not just in your business, but in your life, right? Like I didn't want to stutter anymore. I just wanted to one of those confident people myself and to be able to carry out my thoughts and everything. And I made it a goal to say, let's go learn this speaking thing. And in the course of 90 days, I actually started doing presentations in front of people. I wasn't good at first, but I was good enough to get some sales. I was good enough to get some results. And if you want any encouragement on how much training do you need to do to present, I hope this story encourages you. I remember I saw one presentation. We call it like a drop talk, for example, or just a product presentation. I saw one with my eyes, and next thing you know, at the time I was going to UC Berkeley, I was a college student, so I went back home and I wanted to share the products with my family. So we would set up these presentations, and I'm like, my upline's not around, and no one else can do the presentation. So I guess I have to be the one. So I gathered my family, my mom, my super negative dad. Anyone who have negative people in your life, they like try to talk you out of things. My dad thought he knew everything. So he was in the audience, and then there was like three of my mom's friends. So there was five people. And I remember I had the slide deck. I saw it once, and I'm like, let's just kind of go through this. Super shaky, super nervous. I didn't know how to use facial expressions, but bumbled through it. And you know what was amazing is at the end of that, I sold $1,000 worth of products. And I'm like, whoa, I sucked, I thought, but it worked. And I bring that up for encouragement because sometimes we think you have to be this professional, you have to be so good at speaking, you have to see a bajillion different presentations, you have to have a high rank or a title. I don't even think I got a title at that point. Like I was just a new person that wanted more, but I knew that I had to lean into that. And then from there, it's become a journey now of mastering the art of presenting. Okay. Now I'd submit, um, and this is not to boast at all. I think in the company, I'm probably one of the best presenters. And not only just the company, in my church, I'll just give you an example. We have a ton of entrepreneurs in our church. There was a Christian business course and everything. And out of probably 100 to 200 of top of the line multimillionaires, successful entrepreneurs, not just within network marketing, right, but around the world, I won best presenter of all presenters. And I'm known in the church as being the best presenter. And I bring that up because remember where I started from. So that's when I say that I know Alita can be a presenter, when I know Darlene can be a presenter, when I know that Gina can be a presenter, every single one of you can absolutely learn how to become an effective presenter. All right? If you're willing to receive that, put a yes in the comments below. It's a skill. Anyone can do this. Okay? And to set some expectations, it takes time, right? It takes skill. You're gonna fumble forward. You're gonna go through some awkward moments, but I would encourage you to do that because it's gonna help you in your business, in your life, and everything. And on these Thriving Thursdays, these will be speaker trainings. Here's what I've learned that helped me become a better communicator. It was finding, I actually got really good at communicating because I was following one presentation and I did it over and over and over and over again. If you know the content, then you can focus on all the other elements of presenting. I've done our drop talk presentation probably 1,000 times. So you have to repeat it, right? Repetition is the mother of skills. Fran, I see in the chat, she's been doing her own presentations now. She's been getting tons of sales and she's on that journey. She's like, I'm just figuring it out, but you don't have to be that good. So let me define what a good presentation is. A good presentation is not being the most charismatic. It's not being the most eloquent. It's not being the best storyteller. A good presentation is someone that gets results. Sales happen. Enrollments happen. If that happens, that's a good presentation. Right? That's it. You don't have to sound, we're all going to sound different and look different and have different styles. But if you get the job done and you're able to get sales and enrollments, then that is absolutely fantastic. Okay. So today, what I want to do is I want to start with, we have two general presentations. And there's many more. Like I see Winner and Fran in the chat. They just pioneered what's called a glow party. I think that's going to become more and more fun, which is Everglow and beauty stuff. And there's many different, I know it just sounds fun, right? So there's many different types of things you can present. But what I'll cover for now is there's two main ones that we do, okay, as a baseline. One is a product focused one called the drop talk. This dog mutter body balancing drops are kind of key viral product and then convert customers. The second one is a business presentation. Many of you were just on our invite to Ignite calls. So we put together a format of a business presentation that got super good feedback. After we did that, I was with Allison and my wife, Becky. We had people from literally around the world saying, hey, can I get that presentation? Like, how do you do this? So as we go through this week by week, I'll probably go back and forth between the two and give you guys some format and give you guys some encouragement and some education on this. Okay. We're going to pull in a lot of speakers. We're going to have people also speak. Like, we're going to have you actually talk. It could be anyone, by the way. Hint, hint, wink, wink. So be ready at any time. The only way you can get good at presenting is to do it. Okay. So if you're ready to get started, put I'm ready in the comments below, and then we'll start going into this today. All right, let's go. Okay, so I'm going to direct this over to our boards. And in our boards, if you look down, there is the Drop Talk resources. Maybe I should just name this presentation resources, but Drop Talk resources. And in here, we have a couple of slide decks. These are the slides that we use. You can use whatever you want, but these are a baseline that you can consider to use. For the drops themselves, there's two versions depending where you're on the world. Like Canada has day and night drop formulation. US and China have Slenderx Accelerate. Doesn't matter, pick the one that you're using. And when you pop this up, you'll pull up this Google slide deck. It says make a copy, and this is view only. So what you want to do is you go to File, and then it says make a copy, entire presentation, and you can make your own copy that you can edit, you can fiddle around with, you can add in your photos, like whatever that you want to do. Okay. So the intention is we give you a baseline and you build from that, or you can just use exactly what it is. So there's that. There's also a business presentation. This is the same one that we used in the invite to Ignite calls. So we'll cover that later on. And then there's other things that are going to be in here too. There's, how do you do a testimonial? We'll continue to bolster up this this whole folder. I will, for example, I'm going to give you a literal script of what we say in a drop talk, so you can study that. Like, we'll give you a couple of examples. Like, it's not hard. Anyone can do this. Okay. But what you want to do, and today I'm going to go over the drop talk specifically, and I want to cover how this presentation works. Okay. Let me define how to do a presentation. What's the goal? The goal of a presentation is not just to randomly spew off information. The goal of any presentation is to showcase a solution to a problem. That's it. A presentation is just solving a problem. So before I go into any presentation, before you do a drop talk, here's a couple questions that you should ask yourself. Number one, who am I talking to? Who am I talking to? A presentation, a misconception presentation is you're memorizing something and like performing to the world. We're not actors. We're bringing solutions. So the only way that I can solve Katie Garner's problem is if I know who she is and I know what she's going through. So when you present, it's always to a person, even if it's in a group. You think about what could somebody be thinking right now? Okay. So I think about who are they? What are their problems? Then from there, we present our solution and back up why we believe this solution can actually solve that problem. And then finally, at the end, we have a call to action. CTA, a call to action, which is if they agree with that this solution can solve their problem, are they ready to get started? Every presentation has that format. That's the general idea. So to recap, think who am I talking to? What are the problems? How does my solution help them solve that problem? And then you close it out. All the other stuff in between is filler to back it up. Does that make sense? Does that make it more clear? Like, I hope that helps. This is how, like, right now, as we're speaking, I'm building out a presentation in Destin. We're collaborating with Greg and Lanika Scott, they've made $40 million in actually TLC in 10 years. They were top money earners there. And now they're doing extremely well here. We're doing a social media training and a master class to teach you how to go viral online. So Destin's going to be off the chain. So we're formulating a presentation. So today we were masterminding, and you know what? We asked the same questions. Who are we talking to? What are the struggles? And how we're going to solve that. So we're building out a whole presentation based on those questions and the answers to those questions. So I want to give you not just the what today, I want to give you the why, because I want to train you so that you can actually be confident and competent in presenting. When you know the why, the how comes easy. Okay. All right. Let me now go through the flow of the slides so that you understand what each slide is meant for. Okay. When you go through these slides, think to yourself, what's the point of every slide? What am I trying to convey? Has anyone ever had this experience? You've tried to do some type of presentation, you've spoken something, and then you start getting lost in your thoughts, right? You start talking, 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 and you're like, how do I stop? Where was I? And you're like, what was my point? So, our goal of any time that we talk is we're giving a point. I'm very intentional with anything I present. I'm not talking to talk. I'm talking to convey a point that there is. So what I ask myself and what you want to ask yourself is with every slide, what are we doing here? What's the purpose? If you know the purpose, then you can back it up with information. Okay? Yeah. Winner said it right. On this, she did her homework already. On this slide, the symptoms of hormone imbalance, it is to target a pain point so we can have a solution. Exactly. Winner is an incredible presenter and closer. So she knows this like the back of her hand. So Winner, we need you in some of these presentation trainings in the future for sure. Like we need to talk about how you close and share stories, stuff like that. So but that's exactly what it is, right? So we're setting up the problem. Where people go off in presentation is they think, I need to make my product look so good, people just buy it. I need to make my business look so good, people just join. Actually, no, you don't start at talking about what your solution is. You start with starting with the problem, as we mentioned, right? So we start this presentation with, here's the problem. So for example, I'll come into here and be like, guys, I'm curious, who here's ever experienced any of the following symptoms? Mood swings, low libido, headaches, night sweats, hot flashes, acne, weight gain. Hands go up, right? They throw it in the chat, however the format is. And here's the point I'm driving home. Did you know that the key root on what causes all these symptoms is hormone imbalance? Boom. You've now stated the problem. You now have everyone that's listening saying, I can relate to something like that. Oh, it's hormone imbalance? That's the proposed problem. Then they're thinking, how do I solve hormone balance? Do you guys see how that logic flows? So you position the problem, and now you want to position the solution. If they agree with the problem, and then they agree with the solution, they're gonna buy. All right. And at any time, feel free to throw anything in the chat below. Um, if you have any feedback or anything. Okay. From there, then I'm starting to present the solution. Now, usually around here, you'll start with a story. Facts tell, stories sell. The beautiful thing about our business is really it's real about story sharing. Like those, the testimonials always work, but it's always good in the beginning to also talk about your background and your story. I won't cover how to do your story today. That is in our boards here. But you want to get your story down. There's a before, then, now. You can see there's a health testimonial format, for example, and you can get your story down to like 2 minutes. Okay. You don't want to go on a long, crazy journey. Just right to the point. Okay. Here's another thing to note down. Never tell a story without making a point, and never make a point without telling a story. Never tell a story without making a point. Never make a point without telling a story. We've all been in, you might have flashbacks to a boring professor in school, and they were all facts. Flashback for me is anatomy class. 50 minutes, he went through 230 slides, which was ridiculous. Did not work. But if it's just facts, 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 you are bored out of your mind. But if it's just story, 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 story with no facts, you're entertained, but you don't know what the point is. So both are good to have. That's why it's always important to have some type of story involved in here. So I'm going to do in the beginnings, I'm also going to share my story. Usually if you intro this, you're going to talk about maybe have your before and after photos up, right? Hey, this is where I was, this is what happened, this is where I am right now. Okay. And here's what I realized, this hormone imbalance thing. Okay. Moving on. We're now going to introduce the solution. Give a little bit of credibility behind Partner Co. because they don't know this brand. Right? There's no brand trust at this point. So for most people, they're just thinking, what makes this different than anything else? Why can't I just go to Target, Walmart? Why can't I just do like GLP-1 or whatever? Like there's so many things in Partner Co. What's that? So we want to give a little bit of backing to it so there's credibility. So I just intro real quick. The brand we're going to talk about is Partner Co. I just give exposure here that there's more than just one product. What this does is it plants a seed in their mind that there's more stuff and they might want to check out more of the products, right? So we have many different products that are out there. Today we're just going to focus on one. And then I'm going to give credibility backing and certifications, right? What is this addressing? This is addressing, can I trust this brand? What makes this different? Okay. This is different. We have third-party certifications. We're tested, we're proven, we're doctor approved. We have many clinical studies. Usually pick maybe one or two things that might speak out to you. Like if we're talking to a Pam Middleton, she's a retired registered nurse on our wellness council. She loves talking about the PDR. That's her favorite thing, right? Physician's desk reference. She talks about it all the time because that's what she used actually in the hospital, right? So she can speak to that. But maybe for you, it might be Cologne list. Cologne list is an athlete approval. It's actually higher. It's like basically Olympian athlete certified. Maybe that speaks to you. Maybe you love the bunnies and you love the animals and you love that we're cruelty free. Okay. Even more important, here's another note. When we're presenting, we're not just trying to present interesting information. We're trying to present interested information. What is that? Interested information is what matters to the prospect the most. The goal of the presentation is not to make you look special and smart. The goal of a good, effective presentation is what's going to help the prospect. So, for example, if I know I'm talking to Pam and she's a medical professional, I might talk about the PDR because she would be familiar with that. Does that make sense, guys? Like, so you have this awareness that I'm talking to somebody. What do they need? Okay. Let me give another note here too. A presentation is simply a conversation with one person. A presentation is simply a conversation with one person. If you notice, I hope if you've heard me long enough, You can tell it feels like we're having a dialogue, even though right now we have like 50 people on, right? But it's because presenting is not about spewing information at you and hoping it catches. I'm literally having a dialogue and I'm watching your feedback and I'm watching the chats and I'm hearing and I'm imagining what you might think about this. Because my goal is to make sure that with what I'm presenting solves your problem. And I can't know if I'm not going to guess if it solves your problem. The best closers, like Winner, knows when she closes, someone's going to get started. How do closers know they're going to get started? Because all along this journey in the presentation, we've been building up the conversation and they've been in agreement the whole time. So if they agree, why would they not say yes at the end? So you're not guessing that someone's going to say yes. You're having an active dialogue, even though they might not be talking. You're talking, but it's kind of like feedback like that. Okay. All right, we're gonna continue to beat on this and inundate this. We're gonna give you all of the meat, cut out all the fat, and just give you the stuff that works. Okay? You're gonna be the best presenters on the planet. Okay, the partner co-planet at the very least. It's gonna be great. Okay, let's keep on going. Now we introduce our solution of a product. In a drop talk, our goal is keep it simple. Okay. Simple cells, simple scales. Sometimes we think that a good presentation is lots of information. Jim Rohn has a quote where he says, the mind can only take in what the seat can endure. So if you cannot digest it, it doesn't matter. We have a whole process. Remember, our purpose with the drop talk is to get their foot in the door. We're just trying to expose them, get them in, and then once they're going to get exposed to the other amazing products that we have, the communities, everything, right? Yeah, too much info definitely confuses people. We are in the business of unconfusing the prospect. You know what it means? You can talk less. I hope that makes you happy. So now we're going to talk about here's our solution for hormone balance. Okay. And you can read off the slide if you want, but the purpose of this now is we've got to describe what is the product, what does it do? Um, put these three letters in the chat. USP. USP. USP is unique selling points. What they care about is what makes this different than the other stuff. In our IPA calls, we're now doing a specific topic every week. Yesterday, we did what's called a Wellness Wednesday. Pam Middleton did a great job. Tam did a great job. And they talked about unique selling points of Restorix and Magna D, for example. So our goal is to present the unique selling points, which are on the slides, but we're going to describe it a little bit more, right? So here's the drops. So what are the drops? How do they work? What do they do, right? So we're going to describe it real quick. They're all natural. They're plant-based. Depending which drop you're using, right? The Slendex Accelerator is homeopathic. The day and night drops are herbal. I just say it's plant-based. Just make it simple. They've been around for a long time. They've sold over 1 million sets. Now it's actually 2 million. See, these are credibility boosters. And you just take them on your tongue a couple times a day, and they help you to boost your mood and reduce cravings and regulate digestion and double weight loss. Okay. Here's a slide that we've made that this is what I know is the unique selling point. If you get this verbiage down, you will be in the top 1% of sellers of drops. And it's going to be so easy for you to compete. This is why when I see peptides versus drops, or GLP-1s versus drops, or shots versus drops, or whatever, this is the thing that takes everyone down. We just built it, Winner. Literally, the first time I presented this was on the Invite to Ignite. And here's the education piece, right? So I want to educate enough where they're like, oh, it makes sense. It's not just a testimonial, which is good, but it factually, objectively makes sense. Good job, Teresa. This is awesome. So the conversation here is we're hormone balancing, right? Body balancing drops. How does it do that? There's over 50 hormones in the body. but there's four that really are big in regulating your wellness, your hormones, your weight, and all of that. There's cortisol, ghrelin, leptin, and insulin. And then you can describe what they are, right? I won't read through this today, but our body balancing program targets these four in particular. These four impact all the other hormones in your body. No other program I've seen target these four hormones. And that's why ours clients get the best results that are long term because we're actually going for the root cause. Does that make sense, guys? That's like, oh, this looks so cool, right? What is body balancing hormone? This is it. Okay, 100% true. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I haven't seen anything else. So, absolutely fantastic. And when I say the program, it's the drops with the lifestyle, right? It's everything that's included in this. So you say this, people will be like, whoa, you know your stuff. Okay. All right. So utilize that, and then we'll continue to move forward. We do talk about the program. We do talk about how there is a food plan for recommended. And on this, we do want to be clear, this is not just a quick pill magic fix thing, but what the drops do, I love what Dr. Plant says. He says that most other programs, they help you try to look good, but then you feel horrible after. Here is the only program where you feel good and then you look good as a byproduct. Sunny, this is already updated on the boards, yes. Because what we do is we target the root, okay? So we want to show them the purpose of this is we want to show them that you're not restricted to just like, beans and carrots. But there's a lot of things that you can eat. But what I love about the drops is that they do help you to balance your hormones. You crave the good things, and it's not just willpower, but it's like your body's actually literally changing. Who here has experienced that yourself that you just feel better and you want to make the right choices, right? Yeah. It's not willpower, it's just how your body is. So that's a very good point to make because objection people have is, well, aren't you just going to lose weight if you just follow that plan anyway? We have it in the boards, a description of this as a response. Yes, maybe, but first, it's really hard, especially if you have cortisol issues and insulin issues and all that. But also, the drops make them easier because it decreases cravings, balances the hormones, and it doubles the fat loss. So how about you? But if I'm going to lose weight and do a good lifestyle, I'd rather do it easier and faster. Right? That's what people want. Exactly what Teresa said. You lose two times faster if you balance your hormones with the drops. It's huge, right? So these are good differentiating points. All right. Then we have some testimonials. This is a good place if you're doing a live testimonial. Usually, like it's nice if you do a drop talk to have a couple. I'm not a fan of doing like tons. We don't want to overwhelm people, but two, three, like enough that are right to the point. But if you see on our slides, we have a lot of different backgrounds. The purpose that we use this is to showcase all colors, all genders, all backgrounds. Joy, all of our replays are on the Champions Network YouTube, and it's just in our IPA calls YouTube there. So you can utilize this. It just shows, hey, look, a lot of people have used this. This is credibility. And then there's a bunch of stories that you can use. Pick and choose what you want. You might have a live, live's always best. If you're doing one yourself, then you can pull people from the community, right? Maybe they're within your team. They don't have to be in your team, just everywhere. We have so many different stories. But when slotting in speakers, what I might think is there a diversity of challenges covered and stories covered so it can cover more people? Even better if you know who the prospects are and you know they have a certain challenge. Let's say there's someone that's diabetic, then you might want to share a story of someone that was diabetic and they got better results, right? Does that make sense? Like the stories are used as like precise laser beam weapons. Remember, you never tell a story without making a point. The best way to overcome an objection many times is to tell a story. So they're thinking, will this work for me. I'm in my 50s, I'm going through menopause. I don't know if it'll work for me. Meet Maria. She was going through menopause. She had hormone patches. Hot flashes went away when she used this. Boom. Nuked the objection. Do you guys see how that works? Like you give a story that's relevant to them. And we have many. So do your best with that. Okay. From there, then we start to close. Okay. In the close, we give a couple of options. Our job as a closer to make it easier, Winner said this earlier, is to not make it confusing. So usually in some type of sale, what we found to be the best is give people a maximum of three types of options. Who here's ever been to Cheesecake Factory or a restaurant that just has a huge menu? You know what I'm talking about? And you know what you do when you get there? You're like, oh my gosh, what do I pick? And you almost don't want to eat there. But then you go to like, I know it's not ever, but like an In-N-Out burger is famous for, do you want number one, a number two, or a number three? And they're like, I'll just go for the number two, right? Like you give the selection option easier for them, okay? So that they can just make a choice and you can have an easier one. So that's why in this presentation we have three options. So how do you get started? You can be a customer, buy for retail, okay? So we give the pricing. Our goal in the pricing is to show savings so they can buy more. You can get 1 month, this is United States dollar, 176, or you can buy three and save $46 per box when you subscribe and save. That one phrase will triple your sales. Who here has upsold a customer to buy more than just one set of drops already? This is in our scripting. This is in everything that we do, right? You already got them. So they don't only have to leave with the one product, they can buy more. But you want to expand on that, and we give them an option to save more, but also to get better results, right? One other thing that we talk about all the time, which is absolutely the case, is the people that get best results on the body balancing program, use them for at least 90 days, 3 months. Okay. Who here has used the drops for more than 3 months and you would agree with that? Yeah, it's like it's a big thing. So if they're already going to do 3 months, remember, we're solving a problem. If you're on a call, we had a Millionaire Mentorship pre-call with John Wadsworth, our owner and founder, great salesperson. And you know what he said? He said, if we could tell people they're after and show them what they will become, they're going to pay anything. So it's never a price thing. If you get it's too expensive, that means value is not high enough. So if I see a Tamara, and let's say I know Tamara's goal is she's not feeling good, her hormones are out of whack, she's not able to be around her kids and her family the way that she wants to. She hates waking up at night and she's just struggling with that transition in her life. And I show her, Tamara, there's a way that we could potentially get you back to where you were in your prime. Not just lose the weight, but to feel good inside and out, where you can be vibrant and be absolutely vital with your family and show up feeling and looking 10 to 20 years younger. Tamara, how much would you pay for that? Right? She's like, whatever, take my credit card. So at that point, we have to tell them what we believe is the best option. So we're not trying to sell them on the cheapest thing. That's low level sales. We want to sell the best solution that makes sense for them. I've seen Winner do this in person. We're chilling at the beach after Hawaii drop talk. Her friends are just gathering around. I've never seen someone like Winner in action like this. It's crazy. And she's just literally sitting at the beach, and her friends are pulling out their credit cards and literally buying $500 worth of stuff right there. I'm like, what the? It's because it's trained in her. Like she knows the problems, and then she's giving the best recommendation. But she's not selling everything. She's selling what she thinks is best. So your job is to give the best recommendation. Here's another analogy. When you go to the doctor and you say, doctor, I have a headache, and they go through the list of questions and then they diagnose you and prescribe you with whatever. Don't they give you everything that they think is going to be best? They don't take it out, right? They're not like, I don't think you can afford this. Do you have insurance that can cover this? Like, I don't know if you can, but I think this will help you the best, but you should only get this one because I know you're going through a tough time. No, they don't do that, right? Doctors are like, you're going through this, you need this. Now, that's before they meet you and they're in the holistic realm. And now they're going to have another list that's hopefully smaller and going to keep them vital and vibrant and everything, right? So our job is to give the best recommendation. Don't shop with their pocketbook. We shop with value. We lead with value. We're solving the problem. When people find a solution to the problem that they have, they will find a way to get the money. If that makes sense, put makes sense in the comments below. Like it's this mindset as a presenter is so important. Otherwise, you won't be effective. You're like thinking, oh my gosh, they're like not going to afford this. It's too expensive, blah, blah, blah. Don't buy their excuses. All right. You're there giving them a solution. So you present it the best that you absolutely can. All right. So number one is being a customer. Number two, we then in a drop talk, it's a customer focused one, but we start to introduce an upsell to become a partner because that's what we all want, right? We all want partners that are actually doing stuff. So we then present a second option, which is you can buy it at wholesale price. Who doesn't want to save money? And you might be able to get them paid for. That's good customer language. Right? I'm not talking about making six figures right now yet, but I'm talking about, hey, you can also, if you want, you're going to use them anyway, get them for cheaper and get them paid for. All you have to do is get a membership and you can get this 4 pack. And do you know a couple friends that wouldn't mind balancing their hormones, losing weight, feeling better? A lot of people just resell some of their product and you sell through them and you get yours paid for. Oh, I know three. Everyone knows a couple people. So this is how we now introduce that upsell to a brand partner. Okay, we're kind of easing them into that, the back door. And then finally, we do also throw this out there. If you want brand partners that actually do something, people ask me this all the time. James, I'm signing people up, they ain't doing anything. Well, one, they have to, not everyone's going to do something, but my next question I asked them, did you even tell them about the business that they can make money? No, they just signed up because they want to get a discount. Well, how do you expect someone to want to sell something they don't know they can make money if it's a business, right? So here is where we present the business. And we say, Katie, there's another option for some where you can win vacations. Winner's like, bing. I wasn't thinking about that, but I'll do that now, right? We can partner with you. We have systems and we're going to help you build some good part-time income, even more. We can build something global and we have a great community and it's really, really simple. This may or may not be for you, but it's really simple. What's the point of this slide? Show people our system and show them how simple it is. There's many businesses in the world. There's many things you can do in the world. Our business, and especially our phase one launcher, that's the simplest ever. Like there's not much simpler that's out there, right? So all we have to do, we're literally going to give you things to post so people can come to you. We'll tell you what to say so that they'll buy from you. You can make like 50 bucks at least per set of drops. And then you can actually even build a team and you're going to start making some better part-time money. And if you want to take it higher, this thing starts to duplicate and all of a sudden you have a global business. We have people even making six figures if you want. It's all out there. There's many of opportunities, but boom, right? Yeah, simple proven system. So you guys see how we went from customer, we upsold them to buying more than one set, and then we upsold them to potentially a partner and maybe get their product paid for. And then we're like, but you can also make money here. And all of a sudden, some of them might be like, oh, whoa, I didn't know there was a big opportunity here. Tell me more. All right. And then we close out and we give them an option. So after this, you're going to be a customer. You'll want to be a referral partner, that $30 membership, maybe get a 4 pack, or maybe you want to do the business. Let's talk about that. Which one works for you, right? And that's a presentation. That's a drop talk. The drop talk, if you really did, like it takes like maybe 15 minutes. And then you add in some testimonials, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes max. It shouldn't take long. But that is all it is. But guys, do you see how we went from start of problem Hormone imbalance. To close, who here can see logically why this works? Right? Give me a wave or put a yes in it. You're like, oh, yeah, do it in your home, Teresa. Absolutely. Absolutely do it. For sure. Okay, fantastic. So here's my charge to you is if this inspired you, go do a drop talk. Could be one person, five people, do it with someone else. Or like Sunny and Pam, they're putting up some big ones with like 50 people. Like, like this big, small, do a live. At the very least, let me give one thing to do. Okay. I want to challenge everyone here to do a live video because it's the best way to practice. You know how I got really good at presenting? I recorded myself and I watched and listened to myself. I know you feel like your voice feels like nails on a chalkboard. I know you feel like you don't look the part. It's not true. We're very self-conscious. No one cares. We're just the messenger, okay? What they care about is if there's something that is beneficial for them, okay? So what I would encourage us to do is this. At the very least, two slides. You don't have to show the slide. How do you show them? Different, I think Facebook, you can share a screen. There's some other things. Zoom, there's other opportunities. You can chat that. But here's what I would do. This can be a 5-minute thing. And you can do a live talking about here's the truth about health and hormones. There's a good hook. On this live, start with the problem and go to this slide. You can like kind of read off this. Like, hey, I'm curious if anyone's ever experienced blah, 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 blah. You know what I learned? The issue is not because of your age. It's not because of our genetics. It's because of hormone imbalance. And I've realized there's a solution. Second part, share your story on the drops or share someone else's story if you're still using them, right? You're still developing that. Hey, this was my friend and they use this. Here's my story, what I experienced. And then here's what I learned. We have these drops and they balance the body. And talk through this hormone slide. At the end, always end with the call to action. Hey, if anyone is interested in more information about this program, comment drops or something, or shoot me a message. It'll probably be like 10 minutes max, but it'll allow you to practice. Even if no one sees it, it doesn't matter. It's practice for you to get the messaging down. Because if you can get that core message down, everything else will follow. All right. Who here's down to do that challenge? Now give me a wave or put a me in the comments. And yeah, I mean, I'll do it myself as well too. So awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. Super, super proud of you guys. We have the boards once again. This format is all in that drop talk resources. I think I might rename this. I'll rename this presentation resources because we're gonna have many different types. So it'll be called presentation resources. And you can grab the slides that are within there. Any feedback, comments, or questions? We can take maybe one or two before we call this first introductory one a day. Feel free to unmute or raise your hand. There's a lot of me talking. Today is a lot of me talking. So, Rebecca?
James, yes, I have one.
Yeah.
I have somebody that's just really interested in the products and knowing what our products are. Is there a slide that just is about a presentation that's just about the products, like the different um
Like all the
just
products, like what we have.
well, just the majority. She's just very curious what we have for products. And so
Okay.
I was
Good
trying to
question.
find something that I could send her.
Good question. We have a catalog, yeah. So this one would be good for
Okay.
that. So if you go to share.partner.co, this share site is also on our main wellness 360 backslash links page. So share.partner.co. And then if you go password is share. And when you go into here, there's a really good brochure. And you'll find let's find this one. Man, Part of Coke has some really cool branding. They have a lot of really cool things. Where is the brochure? You can also search it up as well too. Let's see. Wow, I haven't been to this one in a while. They have a lot of cool stuff. Um, Let me find it here. Brochure. It's on boards as well too. Let's see. On the machine. We have a catalog on the machine. We do. That's right. Okay, let me find that one. Okay. Da, da, da. Where is our catalog? Where is our catalog on the machine? All right. So there is a great catalog
If you
that's
scroll
somewhere. Huh?
down, no, it's that, it's like the buttons. One of them said to, I think
This-
you peek the six-figure blueprint, and then there's
Oh, check out our
check out our
products. There we
products.
go.
Yeah.
Perfect. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So be on the
All right.
machine in there.
Yeah, and the reason we put it there is because typically we lead with the drops. So most customers just wants the drops related. But then if you're introducing them to the business and they might want to get an ultimate pack, so then if they're sold on like more products, then there's a likelihood they might want to know what each product does. So that's why we put the catalog there on the business
Yes.
page.
Also, it's under our important links on the main boards. So if you go to important links and resources, you'll find it right here. Oh, where is this? Oh, not this one.
It's the blue
Partner
one.
co-product, this
There
one.
Yeah.
you go.
Yep. Awesome. So yeah, okay. So those would be a couple
Thank you.
good places. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. So
Thank
good
you.
question. You're welcome. Maybe one more comment if there is, or question, and then we'll be good for today. Otherwise, we're good. Okay, cool. All right. Super proud of you guys. Who here feels more excited just by hearing this now? Like it makes more sense. You're like, oh, okay, got it. Okay. So have fun, practice. Remember, you're gonna suck before you get legendary. So have fun sucking. And it won't be that bad, honestly. You're gonna grimace to yourself sometimes, have fun with each other. Can't wait to see those lives, on Facebook and wherever you want to do it. Just do it somewhere. And if you need any feedback or ideas, like let us know, let the team know as well too. Next week, we'll be in Destin, dang. So I guess we won't do this. But the next time we do this, we'll go through the business presentation and that'll be fun. All right. Super proud of you guys. You're gonna be the most epic presenters.